Hi guys, Angie here, and today I want to talk about ENFPs, being an INFJ, and this is actually my first typology video ever. I think I'm going to make a separate channel for it. But yeah, so Myers-Briggs has been a great tool that I've come to use and learn for self-development. Oh, well, kind of knowing myself and why I do the things I do, and also those close to me, working relationships, personal relationships, family. It's been something that's really helped me understand why people are a little bit different than I am, or kind of gives me language for it, I guess. I kind of always had a feeling like, okay, this person's kind of like this, and this person matches up with that, but I don't really know what to call that. And shout out to Carl Jung. Now we got words for it. So yeah, anyway, Myers-Briggs. My best friend is an ENFP, and we became friends in 7th grade. I'm actually hoping to do a video with her soon when she gets back. She's at a music festival right now doing her ENFP stuff. And getting her crazy on, you know how it is. And she's she's had a huge impact on my life. And it's funny because we always knew we were really similar, but we knew we were also very different at the same time. So I'm kind of going to go into cognitive functions a bit and the differences. And so in Myers-Briggs, I think even socionics, it's a mirror type relationship, because we share all the same preferences of functions, like intuition, feeling, thinking, sensing, just extroverted and introverted are flip-flopped for each of our functions. So for me, I have introverted intuition. I'm constantly trying to narrow down all these abstract thoughts and connections and things I'm picking up on into one solid idea, and it's kind of this like mental working that's eliminating things. I almost call it like a chess game, like it's like trying to predict where things are going to go and how things are interconnected. And I always think of her mind as this like where mine might be like a funnel, like hers is this huge like firework where she just boom spreads open. All of her ideas are they start stemming, or you can think of it like a tree. Like she starts with one idea and she'll bounce around until she comes up with millions of ideas. Working together with her on projects and stuff, I remember in middle school, it was like this non-stop ebb and flow of kind of randomness, and she would usually start it, of course, and then I'd come in with the punchline, or hey, well, what about this cool thing out of all the millions of things that you've come up with. And we initially didn't like each other at first. I think that's kind of funny. Maybe we'll talk more about that in the video we do together, but we knew that we both were different and we liked being different. I think this is like 7th grade, and we had similar interests, but we went about them in different ways. And I always really admired her for being like the spunky, carefree, happy-go-lucky, like really popular person. And because I wasn't really any of those things, I didn't really have a huge desire to be them, but I really loved those qualities on her. And I think one of the parts of being mirrored in the ENFP is there's always like this inner ENFP in the INFJ, where it's like you see that in the outside world and you're like, that's like me, but I don't really show that side of me, at least not right away. So it's like this admiration of like, okay, like I get you. I get your zaniness and like crazy spontaneity, and I have a love and appreciation for it. I know some like INFJs who don't get along with ENFPs or that type of energy, and there's a huge variety of ENFPs out there, and same with INFJs. I think it might go into Enneagram and just different levels of, I don't know, how they appear in the world and interests and stuff like that. But for me, and I actually have 4 other good ENFP friends. I'm just thinking of my longest term ENFP best friend, and I think one of my favorite dynamics in our relationship, which I know can be a struggle point for people who date and are ENFP and INFJ, is that FI-FE difference. And so both of us have feeling functions as our judging functions, and they come after our intuitive functions. So for her, she's always really helped me find this strength in my sense of self. And what I mean by that is she's sure of herself. I mean, everybody's unsure and has some insecurities, but she knows what she values, she knows what she wants. She's not afraid to take a stand for what her beliefs are, and she knows that she feels a certain way about something. She's going to tell you, like, there's no holding back. She's out there with it. And for me, I don't really want to rock the boat. I want to keep the peace with everyone around me. I really don't feel the need to voice my opinion or my preference. And sometimes I don't even honestly know what I'm feeling, and that sometimes can feel scary to me, because I look at her and I'm like, how does she know all of that stuff about herself? And I'm like, how do I get there? And it's not through FI, really. It's through my FE that I've come to know, like, who I am, even though FE is extroverted feeling and it's focused on other people. I always thought for the longest time, like, I had to acquire FI, like she has it, and to really get this sense of self that I admire in her. But I'll go into that in another video. So she has this very strong sense of self, and for me, I think what I offer her is taking into multiple perspectives of feelings of the people around her and seeing it from different angles. And I think both ENFPs and INFJs are very empathetic people, and I don't think that ENFPs can't put themselves in other people's shoes. I think that they definitely have that ability, and I see her and my other friends exercise it often. But I think it's this, maybe more so, keeping this harmony in the group and realizing, like, it's almost like this social intelligence about people that's a little bit different than hers. I wish I could put that into words better. But I remember growing up, she used to think, she used to call it fake. I remember being in like 8th grade, and she was like, I don't like this. You're very open, and you're very, funny and spunky around me, and then around other people, you're something else. Like, you're whoever they are. And she's like, that's fake. You're not a fake person. And I always think that was kind of like her FI, like realizing, like, no, I know you, and you're being different with Jimmy than you are with, like, Tara, and like, and we both kind of like come to that realization later in life that, like, that was me, like, fitting into the energy of the group we were around, or relating to the people that were around me, and kind of just like I almost became part of that camouflage in the group. It's still very much a part of me, and that is me using my FE that's authentic for me, whereas being authentic for her is being herself, which is who she shows all the time. My battery's gonna die. I'm gonna switch it real quick. Okay, it's back on. I'm a YouTube newbie. Changing my battery mid-video. What was I talking? Oh yeah, so extroverted feeling came off to her as this, like, fake expression of myself, but really it was me molding to fit the group and what the group needed at the time. And we both kind of grew this mutual respect for each of our differences in that area. And I think through her, I actually grew a lot of confidence and to embrace who I am, and to own that, and not be afraid to hold that back. I mean, I'm still a really reserved person, but I do let my quirky side show a lot more. I know there can be some differences there that cause conflict. I know, for instance, like, sometimes we would go through phases where she'd make a decision, and FE versus FI is kind of like, well, that was kind of selfish, and you only thought about yourself in this situation. And at least that's how it came off to me sometimes, and I'd have to take a step back, and I'm like, no, she's holding that space for herself, and that's her being true to herself. And at the same time, I knew that with extroverted feeling that, I look at it as in terms of, like, how it's affecting other people, and she's looking at it and how is this, benefiting me and others. So that was a learning area as well. And I think extroverted feeling to her can look like wow, so you just really don't have an opinion, or you don't have a say about this. You're always doing what other people want you to do. Do something for yourself, and, you know, don't worry about what he or she or they think, and why won't you just do this thing that you know you want to do, and like, why do you care what other people think? And so that's always been kind of like, I mean, it hasn't always been, but if there is a conflict point, that would be it. Let me go into extroverted thinking and introverted thinking, which I think is fun because it's kind of lower down in our stack. So for me, introverted thinking is really fun. Really fun. It's reading about all these things and figuring out systems, just like Myers-Briggs. Like, I use it in conjunction with extroverted feeling, and how things are interconnected with also NI, and she sees me as this like calculating, analyzing person at times, and she's like, you know, you get in your head, you get in your scientist mode, and it's hard to get you out of that. And you want to analyze all these things and present it to me like a like some research project. People are sometimes research projects, and we have fun with that. And she's like, well, what do you think about this person? Like, what are your data points about this? Like, what are your insights? And for me, looking at her extroverted thinking, or TE, I was joking to someone recently how when we go on vacations, so neither of us are dominant extroverted thinkers, but if there is one of us who gets stuff done, I would say it'd be her. When it comes to crucial things like that, like planning in the moment planning. I'm more of the long-term planner, and she's more of the, okay, when it comes down to it, like, we gotta do what we gotta do, and like, who do we call, and are we going on time, like, we gotta get rolling, like, we're excited for this next adventure or vacation, and like, she gets things in motion, in action. That's that extroverted thinking at play for her, I think. She's very good at making things happen, being kind of that group organizer for our friends, which I really think is a cool trait. And when she has projects or like things that she wants to get done, like, she bulldozes through with that TE, and she'll get there. And I mean, it's a working area for both of us, because it's not our strong, like, they're not strong functions for us, but developing them, becoming used to using them in healthy ways has been really cool for our friendship, that dynamic as well. And then last functions are SI and SE. I don't know if I really want to go into these because I'm not super certain what they provide to each other in relationships, like having those differences, because I know extroverted sensing for me is still a weak point, and so is introverted sensing for her. And I mean, we're both young adults in our 20s, so we're still really getting a handle on those functions and how to use them. But I know she's always, you know, had this, she hates routines, hates any monotonous task, and she constantly likes her environment to be changing, which I do too, to a certain extent, but maybe not necessarily the way she seeks it out, because she really runs from that like SI tradition, and things need to be done the way they've always been done. And for me, I know I neglect being in my physical body a lot, and interacting with the outside world. I can get stuck in my head. So doing things like in nature, or getting out there and hiking, or gosh, I don't know, playing music is awesome for me, and like performing and stuff like it's life-changing for me, being able to get in those states. I don't know, I just think that type of relationship flows really well. I haven't dated an ENFP. I know that they're one of our supposed perfect matches. I have a lot of ENFP best friends, females, who I just freaking love. They bring out that quirky side of us that I think we oftentimes think people won't understand, or maybe we don't even know we have it until they come around, and then we're just like big goofballs together. I swear people think that we go out to public together and we'll make funny videos and just like nonsense things that like we probably were doing when we were 12 and we still do now. Just like impersonating people or making funny voices, and she'll usually bring the attraction, like she'll draw the attention to whatever it is we're doing in public, and then I'll kind of come up with like, okay, here's what we should do next. And there's this intuitive understanding for each other, which I don't think we as INFJs really get with a lot of people. And while they are different from us on the outside, and you know, they have that outer appearance as being happy-go-lucky and super enthusiastic, or just kind of more spontaneous than we are. There's still a part of them where their emotions run very deep, and I don't think many people get to see that side of them either, but I know from the ENFPs in my life that they feel, at least they've told me that they feel like I'm a safe haven for them with those emotions, because I know they don't show those to many people. Sometimes I kind of vomit my feelings, not like to everybody, but I like to talk things out, and I know they're kind of more stubborn about expressing their emotions, at least the dark ones or the sad ones, and I really hope I can be that person for them that they're comfortable talking to. And for the most part, I think that's how our relationship is, and they help me look on the brighter side of life all the time, and to get out of my head and just to start doing fun things with them, taking me on the next adventure, because I'm always down to go on adventures. I think a lot of INFJs are. I know that there's some, I mean, I'm definitely, if you know, instinctual variance, I'm an SX, or sexual instinctual variance, so I really crave new and intense experiences, and I know a lot of ENFPs in my life really help me find those experiences or bring them to me. So I don't think I'd ever say no to an ENFP adventure. I mean, they might be a little less planned than I'd like, and there might be some parts where I'm like, oh god, we're getting lost, or here we go again, we ran out of money, and they're just like, oh, we'll figure it out, man, like, it's cool, we're getting to the next part, and I'm like, okay, but it always ends up okay, and they really help ease the thoughts in my head, so I think it's an awesome relationship. And if you have anything to say about the ENFP-INFJ dynamic, if you want me to make a video with my best friend, ENFP, that I've been raving about this whole video, she's probably going to watch this. Love you. Leave a comment below, like, subscribe. It's my first video. If you want to see more videos about INFJs or just other personality types, let me know in the comments below. Thanks. Bye.